Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Doe, and in today's video I want to discuss some builds for the War Pike. So the War Pike is a weapon in Dauntless that gets a pretty bad rap from a lot of people, including me. This weapon is not my favorite thing in the game, and honestly I think it's probably my least favorite thing in the game right now. Mostly because the specials, they're not that interesting and they're not that viable in some cases. But the weapon does still have uses outside of getting really fast kill times, and those uses are making wounds. This is the best weapon to make wounds with, and that actually really matters if you're trying to get your mastery done for Malkarion, which is what I'm currently trying to do. So if y'all been watching my stream recently, I've been using War Pike a ton, and I've been using a certain build to try and get the fastest wounds I really could, and get the most out of the weapon and its wounding potential. The build I use for wounds is one that I suggest you use in a group, because if you're not playing in a group, there's no real reason to run some of the cells I run, but if you are playing in a group, then the cells I run really help. And to describe the build, for my weapon I have the Hellion War Pike, and for my special I have Reckless Leap. This is a special that some of y'all might not know about or understand. If you don't have this special, it is completely fine to use either the Concussive Payload or Savage Wellspring. But I use Reckless Leap because it gives me a very, very, very hefty hit whenever I use this special. It's like a giant leap. It's legit a Reckless Leap. You can't really control it. You can't really aim it that well. Like, you can't aim up and down, but you can aim like left or right, which is kind of weird. Now the benefit to this special is the crazy wound damage you can get with it. I hit for I think around 8k or 10k was my highest crit with wound damage, which is freaking massive. So you get crazy big crit hits for wound, which is all I'm looking for, and you also get really good mobility. That's the whole point I'm using this build, because when you're playing in a group, you want to get to the behemoth really fast, because whenever it's on the ground and staggered or anything like that, you want to be able to get your damage in, because that's the best time to hit the parts very accurately. So after you boop a behemoth, you can just use this special to get over there really quickly, and that saves a ton of time. And in the process, you can hit a part and wound it for a ton of damage, saving even more time. So that's why I chose this special. Like I said though, if you don't have it, you can use whatever else you have access to. Now my modifier is Executioner Spearhead, and this is where every wound I create, I get 6% damage. Now the cap to this is at 10 stacks. So roughly, or not roughly, you can get exactly 60% damage if you make 10 wounds with this special. In Escalation, it is the best modifier for War Pike, hands down. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. This is the best one, because that is that's unheard of damage right there. In fact, the only thing that comes close is Overpower, and Overpower requires a stagger state to do the damage it can give you. So this is, but like, it's just an insane modifier. I suggest taking it if you're playing War Pike. And if you guys want this modifier, to unlock it, you have to get it from the Trial Store. And to buy things in the Trial Store that give you power, it has to be done with Still Marks, either from either normal trials, or you can get some from the Hunt Pass currently. And moving on to the gear, I have the Skullforge helmet, which is an exotic from doing Heroics or Heroic Plus patrols, and this is going to be my best way to maintain stamina for how I play the weapon. Because on the War Pike, you use an absurd amount of stamina, and the Skullforge will help you counteract that stamina usage, and it just helps you, be able to dodge and all that fun stuff that you want to do in the game. So I do suggest this helmet very, very highly, and I'm also using it because Iceborne is very strong in this shock escalation. So you should use it. It's a really good sell. You might as well use it. Now my chest piece is the Dark Marrow from a Shroud. This is for the Rage and the Power slot. My gloves are Light's Refuge from Rezakiri for the Technique slot and the Conduit. And my feet are from Boreas, and they are the Boreal March for the Iceborne and Technique slot. Now Lantern choice is, like always, up to you. In my case, I'm running the Embermane's Rapture because it gives me more attack speed. With that attack speed, I can get a really, really fast combo going and get some wounds in pretty quickly. As for the potions, I do suggest bringing some consumables, because if you're in a group that's going really freaking tryhard and trying to break all the parts before you can, you might want to have some stimulants or some boosters to help you get your wounds in before they break all the stuff. So in this case, I suggest Insight Tonic for extra wound damage, Frenzy Tonic for extra damage, and then Blitz Tonic for more attack speed. And I almost forgot the perk summary, but for this build, I have +6 Conduit, Iceborne, Overpower, and Rage, with +3 Acidic, which Acidic is a cell that cuts your part damage in half and converts it to wound damage. Now, in saying that, it converts your base part damage. So if you add Sharpened onto your build, if you do other things, like if you do +6 Acidic, it's not going to do very well. So I only suggest using +3 Acidic. That's what people tell me to do. So I listen to those people, and I'm telling y'all, to only use +3 acidic. Otherwise, you're wasting the potential of the cell. And then past that, I have +3 discipline and +3 wild frenzy. The wild frenzy is for attack speed, and the discipline keeps me at half life. So these are my cells, and that is the build for getting wounds on Malkarion. To be very clear, I only suggest this build for Malkarion if you're doing escalation. If you're doing anything else in escalation, like just trying to do it fast with War Pike, then you should be following this other build that I have. So for this build, you'll have the Hellion War Pike, because Hellion weapons are really good for fast hitting weapons like War Pike, Chain Blade, Sword. Very good options for those weapons. In this case, I have the War Pike, and for my special, I'm using the Savage Wellspring, and that will give me 25% crit chance for however long it lasts. I think it's like a 12-second duration when you have max meter for your War Pike missile. And my special, or my modifier, will again be Execution Spearhead for more damage once you make wounds. And for my armor, I'll have the Rizikiri helmet, and then for everything else, I'll have Boreas. So Boreas chest piece, gloves, and feet, because those are really good pieces to have for low-life builds that have Iceborne and Rage. That's just how it works. And for my lantern, I'll swap between either the Drask's Eye or the Immermane's Rapture. Depends if I want to go for bigger hits or for just faster hits in general. The perks of this build will be +6 Conduit, Cunning, Discipline, Iceborne, Overpower, and Rage. And this build can be used for the Sword, the Chain Blades, and even the War Pike, because this is a very crit-heavy escalation, and this build delivers a lot of crit chance, and it also gives you Iceborne, which is very good for survivability. And to go into a bit of detail on the crit chance of this build, your cells will give you 25% crit chance just at their base, and your special, called Savage Wellspring, if you're using it, will give you an extra 25% crit chance, making it 50% just with your cells and your special active. And to take it even further, there are some amps in escalation that give you even more crit chance. There's Full Throttle, which gives you 20% to 30% extra crit chance, which would be really insane to get in the last round. And there's also a few other amps that help you out with crit chance. And the crits are important because there's one amp in escalation that I think that everyone should get once you can unlock it, and this is called Virulent Impact. This makes it so 75% of the damage you dealt with a crit will be dealt to all behemoths that are active in that round, which can get freaking insane. If you have like an 80% crit chance, then you're doing a ton of damage, and it's just really cool to see the numbers fly on the screen. Like, that's like the main thing, honestly. It's like seeing the numbers fly on the screen, seeing the health bars just drop dramatically. It's a pretty good feeling to just have that kind of power. But that kind of power is very RNG dependent, because getting this amp is it's a rare amp. Not like super rare, but it's rare. That's like the thing. It's like it's a blue amp, it's rare. That's like the classification. So getting it might be rough, but when you do get it, this build will pop off. If you don't get it, it'll do okay. There are better builds that do much better work than this one, but if you want to play War Pike, this is a good build to be using in escalation for quick runs. Just keep in mind you'll have 0 stamina generation unless you take a stamina tonic or you change some of the gear pieces to get some conditioning. That's up to you. In my case, I'm kind of okay at playing War Pike without stamina, although it's nice to have it. I'm not going to lie to you, it's really nice having stamina. It makes the game feel a lot better. You can sprint. You have the freedom to sprint freely. It's amazing. But I can deal with playing without stamina as long as my damage is through the roof. And this build will get you some crazy damage if you get some good RNG and you get Violent Impact, some Throw the Hunt going, and those kind of amps. Because those will really skyrocket your damage and have you feeling like a freaking champion with the War Pike. Otherwise, you might as well get 2 shake weights, duct tape them together, and then dual wield that stone gun, alright? Because that's what War Pike is without some of these amplifiers. I'm not going to lie to you, it is not that strong unless you get some of these amplifiers. It still will kill things, right? You'll still kill behemoths, that is without a question. But when you don't have some of these modifiers, War Pikes feel like 2-handed shake weights, and all that does is weigh you down. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I got to say for now. That is all there really is to cover about this topic. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys liked the builds, and hopefully you guys like War Pike, because if not, then this build does not pertain to you whatsoever. But if you're still watching, I appreciate you. As always, guys, if you like the video, make sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe. All those things help the channel immensely. And if you guys want to support me directly, you can do so by using my Epic Games support card code in the Epic Games store or in the in-game Dauntless store. Every purchase you make supports me if you use my code. It gives me a small kickback, and I appreciate every single one of y'all that do that, so thank you very, very much. And make sure you use someone's code every 14 days. They do expire. It's annoying, but it happens. But anyway, y'all, thank you again for watching the video. I will see you in the next one. Peace.